What's up, everybody? How you doing? The man with the brush here. Part 2 is here. The tutorial is here. We're going to focus today on how to apply acrylic to a form. So get ready. I'm going to start out with building her nails out today. It's actually just a regular light natural pink, and I use a light natural pink color to build the form out so I can kind of get an idea of seeing the tip that I'm building. So anyways, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start on her index finger, and we're going to go ahead and get right into that. Now she is requesting a little bit of a tapered nail. It could be considered a coffin shape, or they call it the ballerina shape, or whatever. It is what it is. Everybody's got their names, but I consider it more of a coffin shape or a tapered nail. Let's go ahead and rock and roll. So first thing you want to do is dip your brush gently, get enough monomer on your brush, and then you're going to come right into the pot and you're going to grab a bead. Okay. And this is a speed acrylic, so it can dry fairly quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here on the nail itself, and I'm just going to push up once I lay the bead on. And I'm going to walk it on both sides, and then I'm going to walk it on the other side. And what this is doing basically is I'm trying to get the first initial bead on there, and then I'll come back in and I'll grab another bead here in a few minutes. But I want to line up where you can see where the free edge is, and you got your side edge too, running right down. You want to actually try to keep that semi-straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you're going to be using your file. That's a whole other step, so you don't have to worry too much. But once I get the first bead on there, then I can actually start putting more acrylic on, and just take baby steps. With this, it doesn't have to be rushed. A lot of my clients will tell you that I'm kind of a big snail. No, I'm joking. I work fast when I need to, but I like to really take my time and visit with my clients, and my advice would be to you guys doing the same thing. Building a good relationship with your clients is very important. That's what feeds your family, and such. So definitely want to build a good relationship with them. Got an itch in the eye, I apologize. But with that said, so you can see where there's one more little line right here. I'm actually going to take her nail out to about right here with this line. And this is going to help me be able to take these nails and taper them in like necessary. And again, when you're picking up your bead, just make sure your brush is not too dry. If your brush is too dry, it's going to clump up, and it's going to ruin your brush basically. And your acrylic is going to just dry all over the place. It's going to consider it this huge big mess. You can't use your brush after that. So what I do is dip. When I dip my brush, just so you guys know, when I dip my brush, I come up and I just kind of tappity tap on the side. And then what I'm going to do is grab a little bit more of acrylic, pretty decent ball, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from the back side. I'm going to stick it right there, right before I get into that cuticle area. And then what I'm going to do is drag it down. And all it is feathering the nail down. And all you want to do is really keep a good eye on the way that you're actually putting that acrylic on. And you know what, to be honest with you, when you look at that nail right now, it looks pretty freaking cool. There's not a lot that you have to do more with that nail. I do see right here on the edge that I guess I could possibly put a tad more. And all I'm doing is I'm giving it strength between this area right here where the nail is not attached to the natural nail. this is actually going to be your tip now, which a lot of people consider the fake tip when you glue it on. So you can see through it. All right, well, let's go ahead and go on to number 2. Again, when you're applying acrylic to the nail, you always want to start up close, like right about here, and then you're just going to walk it through. You're going to walk it through, and then push up, push up, push up, push up. And then you're going to come back through on both sides. You're going to make sure that your brush isn't super wet, and then you're just going to kind of walk it through. You're going to bring that guy up, walk it through. And you're going to go off your nail channel line again. This is called your nail channel line. Well, at least that's what I call it. Everybody's got their own terminology. And but you want to go off that nail channel line. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you that guidance on how to continue to build that nail out. Once again, grabbing another bead. Now we can go ahead and extend the nail. So we're building and extending at the same time so we can give her the best look possible. So, and again, how you apply your acrylic, I mean, is how maybe I do it, isn't the way that you may do it. So there's no rule saying that you have to do it this way. But this is just some crucial tricks that you guys can use to be able to help the guideline. A lot of people say, man, you make it look so easy. Well, I can't tell you what, I've been doing this 8 years. It's not as easy as it looks when I had first started. So, you know, with that said, it just takes practice. You know what I always tell my kids? Practice makes perfect. So, you know, doing that is super important. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead from the back again, and I'm going to put a bead on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and walk it over. I'm going to go ahead and walk it over, and then I'm going to bring it down. Same thing. And again, if you need to add a little bit of acrylic just for strength, add acrylic. You can always file off that stuff, so it's not a huge deal. People get really stressed out like, oh my gosh, it looks like Mount Everest. Well, it's better to have more strength than not, because you don't want your nail to break. And we'll get into another tutorial about building a nail to where you got a ton of strength in it, and how it could be overloaded. I'm not going to touch on that too much right now, but just building the nail out is basically the coolest part of all. Now, a lot of people will come back in and they'll press, or they use what they call pinchers. That might even be the right term, because I don't use them. But anyways, I just use my finger, and at this point what I'll do is I'll just grab from both ends, and the nail's still soft. It's still a little bit soft, and I can use my strength, and I give it a little bit more C-curve. So I just push on it like this, and what it does is it allows the nail to look more C-curve. This one was a little wet, so I'm not going to do it to that one. But now, when I take this off, look what we got. It's like magic. Bam! We got ourselves a nail, guys. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Can I have you flip your hand over? Thank you. So, looking at that from the inside, there's no tip, there's no super glue. We basically took that out of the equation, and now we're working with just the natural nail. So, that's amazing, though, because now I can use this whole entire canvas for whatever I want. People a lot of times will come in and tell me that they've gone to some places, and it's very true that, like, when you have a bitten nail that's really, really bitten, and I'm going to show you guys a perfect example of what a bitten nail is, and you guys are going to laugh, but it's okay. Again, but this is very crucial. So when you look at my fingernails, I'm a biter. I bite my nails a lot. And so in doing that, you can't get a tip on this. There's no possible way. If you put a fake tip on this fingernail, you're not going to have any acrylic that's going to be able to bond to it. So a lot of times, some salons, or most salons, will probably tell you need to grow your nail out for a bit, and then at that point, you can come back in and they'll put a nail on you. So there's not a lot of people that put forms on. Unfortunately, they can come to me and I don't turn anybody away. I've never turned, none of my clients have never been turned away. If it be a bit nail or it be whatever. So the thing is, forms allow you to be very creative in that sense. So just know this, when you use forms, there's so many advantages to it, okay? Again, getting ready to tear off this form, and we want to come in here and we want to push. Again, push, make sure that C-curve is still somewhat soft, looks good, and then I go ahead and pull it off. Same thing with the pinky. This pinky may not be ready. And this is the other thing. So when I'm taking the form off, when I start seeing the form underneath just kind of naturally kind of popping off, you can kind of see the shadow through the nail itself where it's getting loose, you know it's ready to come off. When it's not ready, it's probably like the thumb over here. Yeah, see, it's super soft still. I can actually feel it. You can see that if you try to push on or anything like that, it's stuck to it. That's because it's wet still. So you just want to make sure that it's dried enough. Don't over rush the form. When you over rush it, you're going to have to start over. You don't want to do that, especially when you're trying to make money, right? And you want to make sure that, you know, you're getting your client in and out in a decent time manner. So with that said, what's going to happen here at this point, once I get this form off, is I'm going to come back in and I'm actually going to shape her nail.